SpaceX unveils a plan for a second Starbase. What does it take to build 1,000 Starships? Starbase, the official launch headquarters of SpaceX, has been in the news for quite a while, given its substantial proportion compared to their Florida launch site. The Starbase is pretty much like a city as opposed to a mere launch site, given the vast expanse of land it covers and how many facilities owned by SpaceX that a single one holds. And now we're getting a second one? Why does SpaceX need a new Starbase? What's going on that we don't know about? Welcome to your favorite channel, Unlimited SpaceX. After all, they just recently established a new one in Boca Chica, Texas. This video will shed light on SpaceX's plan for a new Starbase and the overall effect of the development of Starships. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and feel free to let us know what you think in the comments sections. Let us get on with the video. SpaceX is doing a bit of wonder, bringing its futuristic space tech into areas of the US that were otherwise unfamiliar with the industry. It has resulted in the mass employment of employees in the communities as they hustle and bustle to meet the quota or deadlines associated with each project. The Starbase is a significant production factory of SpaceX's rockets and a viable launch site. You can hear the sound of machinery at work and the chirping of radios used in communication across all functional units in SpaceX. The Texas Starbase is not a new place to several tests, both successful and not. The base holds a familiar sense of mission where you can imagine the impossible being made possible. It is on the grounds of the Starbase that the dream to reach Mars will finally attain fruition. The drive of the workforce is impressive thus far. We can feel the world changing as a result of the activity of SpaceX on the Starbase. The entire community has had quite the experience with one of the most significant projects in the 21st century just a few miles from their residential areas. The ease of access is also exhilarating, as anyone can drive up to the Starbase for a tour of the base and check out the beautiful sights of rockets and other flight-ready hardware. Many would also enjoy the opportunity to watch a rocket shoot off into the sky. The Starship development process is undoubtedly beautiful to behold, and its great mission to Mars will be discussed for generations to come. The timeline for achieving its vision can be set to within 10 to 20 years. We would be able to watch documentaries about the journey of SpaceX right from its inception to date. The first Starbase is none other than the one located in Florida. From there, Elon Musk has operated fiercely, and while it doesn't hold the official tag of Starbase, the legal procedures are in full motion to see it be named a Starbase too. While the Texas launch base bears the acclaimed Starbase name, Florida would outrightly reclaim the position of being SpaceX's first. That's only right, since it has overseen several significant operations. Elon Musk has managed to turn the small city into a massive spaceport. Soon, another open landscape that you can almost call a wilderness will become like Florida and Texas by becoming a spaceport for SpaceX. Why do we need another Starbase if SpaceX already has one in Florida and Texas? If you consider the broader goal of Elon Musk, it would seem only fitting that it happens, since SpaceX is looking to get so much done in such a short time. First, we commissioned 42,000 Starlink satellites, out of which only 1,900 have hit low orbit. Secondly, the Starship could be pivotal for the Mars interplanetary mission and others, such as NASA's moon landing project and the Starlink project. The carrying capacity of one Starship is about 100 tons, and it could perform much better than Falcon 9 in that department. Its development will fast-track the quick attainment of the complete launch of the satellites. It can carry almost double the number of satellites that Falcon 9 can have, and Elon Musk aims to build 1,000 Starships to fulfill the goal of bringing 1 million people to space. It sounds pretty lofty, yet achievable. On the ground, the Starbase holds the incredible sight of engineers working hard to assemble the vast stainless steel vehicle called the Starship. The Starbase is not a military base like that of NASA, and thus you can find many curious people hanging around and trying to peep at the giant spacecraft and its super heavy booster. Several people have attested to the glorious sight of this Starship mounted on its unique booster, dubbed twice as powerful as the Apollo era's iconic Saturn V rocket. It's also much cheaper. We even heard of a man named Answini who reportedly moved from Missouri to Texas just to be close to the Starbase to document the Starship development. You'll be surprised to find so many people camping near the Starbase and trying to lay their hands on credible content for their podcasts and YouTube channels. You can sense the sense of pride that it brings to the residents. Those who travel over there gaze at the cutting-edge technology that predilects the future of humanity. It won't be long before SpaceX launches a full orbital test flight and finalizes the prototype's design for moon missions. The preparation to move for Mars cannot be rushed, and SpaceX might be interested in keeping their head low and perfecting the engines and bodily designs. When completed, the Starship will become the most powerful and cheapest rocket of its kind in the history of the space industry. There has never been a rocket of this size, and then launching it is expected to cost at least $2 million. It hasn't earned its plaudits yet, unlike the Falcon 9, which is pretty much a savior and SpaceX's most successful rocket. The demonstration missions should start soon, with the approval by the Federal Aviation Administration on the horizon. What does the Starship mean for our generation? A lot of things are at stake. The dream is still far ahead to see how we can convey 1 million people to Mars to establish a new settlement. When it becomes launched, we expect both existing Starbase to play an important role as its launch bases. Neither of them is in direct competition, except with reports that SpaceX doesn't precisely have outright ownership of the Florida space station. Even though it was ultimately built for something much better, the rocket can also be used for satellite launches from either location, that is, Texas and Florida. Also, it could operate as a moon lander that would see American astronauts return to space for the first time in decades. If a new Starbase were established, it would mean that the project's horizon would be expanded. Suddenly, SpaceX will be able to do more, especially with the payload it can carry on its own. Missions from Florida and Texas would have on the same air of significance. Who knows, they could go on different missions even simultaneously. Don't you think that SpaceX might be able to pull it off? They have the architectural basis for building a lasting rocket and using it more than once, and a lot more than twice in the absence of any unwarranted collision with space debris. Maybe the new Starbase will also be close to a residential area, and they too will take a fascinating interest in the projects. Texas Starbases open up a stream of income for those into video content, since they can easily document all of SpaceX's activities and make money on YouTube. All of these are in anticipation of what SpaceX can help us achieve this year. A new Starbase may be unlikely to start this year, and for good reasons. We think the other two should be just enough for the time being. Unless the orbital flight of Starship is completed, the creation of 1,000 Starships is pretty much suspended for now.